Alright, y'all. I got another movie film for you. Watching movies. Just checking them out. We got some movies going on. So, watched a movie. Yesterday, I watched a movie film. It's a filmographic movie called Castle Freak. Castle Freak. And needless to say, what a freaking movie. Huh? Castle Freak. So, this movie, as the name would imply, it takes place in a castle, and there's a freak. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. So there's a family that, for whatever reason, that doesn't really make any sense, they inherit a castle. Alright, great. There's a castle now. So they go to the castle. The family has like a tragic backstory. Like, so there's three of them. There's the father, the mother, and then the blind kid. Whoa, why is the kid blind? Later, there's a fly. Get the fuck. Yeah, that's right. Later, we find out that the father, while being an alcoholic, got into a drunk driving accident and blinded the other child because they were in the front seat, and killed the younger child, who's dead now. And so, like, but for whatever reason, you know, they're still together, and the blind child, you know, forgives the dad. It's a really bizarre backstory. It's kind of tragic, but also very scary and sad. But anyway, so they go to this castle. Like, they have a castle. Like, what the fuck? Anyway. So they're in the castle. And so, like, the father just wants to sell the castle. And, you know, he doesn't want to deal with it. He doesn't want to live in a fucking castle. Like, who the fuck wants to live in a castle? I would live in a castle. They say that there's 150 rooms in this motherfucker. Damn, like, I want to live in a fucking castle. That sounds great. Anyway, so they're trying to gain inventory, figure out what to sell. And then, you know, apparently, like, the father is related to the person who owned the castle. It's like a loophole, legal loophole. Like, the only surviving relative is someone that didn't even know that they were part of this family. You know, and they find, like, a crypt with a kid that looks like their kid who died. Turns out, by the way, that the person who owned the castle they faked the kid's death, and then kept that kid in a room and just tortured that kid for like 40 fucking years? Holy shit. So that's the freak. So there's a Castle Freak is the name of the movie. They're in a castle, and then the freak comes into play. So now we got the freak. And so the freak basically breaks out and starts like stalking the blind kid. Now she's blind, so she can't see the freak. And so the freak is like playing like a stealth game, like Splinter Cell or some shit. And the freak is like a fucking serial rapist. They want to like rape everybody in sight. And then one of my favorite parts of this movie is where the freak has some full frontal nudity going on. Now, the makeup on the freak, really good. Like, that freak looked fucked up. That freak looked like a fucking freak. Let me tell you. Total fucking freak. A total freaking freak. I don't know. Anyway, but there's some full frontal nudity from the freak. Very bizarre stuff. See, I wasn't like, you know, normally when I watch movies, a lot of movies, especially like horror films, like especially B-movie horror films, they love showing titties all over the place. There's like 78, 79 titties all over the place. Right? Now, again, I think titties are okay. They're fine. But I'm just curious, how come men don't typically get naked? I want to see full frontal when I watch a horror film. I'm just saying, that's my preference. Well, this movie, it was like the monkey's paw kind of thing. Right? Like, you know, that my wish was granted in, like, the worst way possible, because this freak has, like, a weird-ass fucking dick just flopping around during, like, fight scenes. Goddamn. Right? Anyway, so the freaks a hooker at some point in this movie, and there's a scene where the freak is, like, sucking on her nipples and then bites the nipple off. I'm not gonna lie, I lost it. I couldn't look. So I don't know what else happened in that scene. There was some other shit that was going down in that scene. Holy fuck. I couldn't. I closed my eyes. I was like, nope. Nope. Not doing it. Not happening. No, I refused to watch this any further. But then I eventually continued to watch the film, and it was horrifying. It was scary. I mean, this movie is like, it's a very over the top kind of B movie ish, but it's good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. The cops, like, you know, they find out that the hooker went missing and blame the father, right? And then they bring the cops in this movie. By the way, first of all, the freak kills 2 cops. I'm in. That's a cool freak. Now, again, the freak was also trying to kill, like, a blind girl. That's not cool. The freak also killed a hooker and a housekeeper. That's not cool. But, I mean, the freak killed 2 cops. Pretty cool, if you ask me. Anyway. And so, anyway, so the freak is, you know, on the loose. The cops basically think that the alcoholic father killed the hooker. So they bring him in and are like, why did you kill her? And then he's like, I didn't do it. I gotta say, the father's acting really good. Like, he was over the top, but, like, in a good way. I was so into it. And so, basically, the father is like, I gotta go back to this castle. My family's in there with a fucking freak. So, the father basically gets into a fight with the cops, takes the cop's baton, smacks the cop in the fucking face. I guess it was in the back of the head. So, the alcoholic father beats the shit out of the cops and goes back to the castle in the middle of a rainy night. Who knows how he got there? He just ran to the castle, I guess. And then gets into like a rooftop battle with the freak. Good movie. I gotta say, this movie was fun to watch. Cheesy, but good. Cheesy, but good. That's all I can say. It's cheesy. But on top of being cheesy, it's good. It's a good movie. I would, you know, it's that B movie, B horror. It's good. I enjoyed it. The freak kills some cops. The alcoholic father beats the shit out of a cop who wrongfully imprisoned him. I'm in. I'm in. Like, I'm just so into it. Apparently there's a remake. Maybe I'll watch the remake. I don't know. It's possible. All I know is Castle Freak. I mean, there's a castle. There's a freak. What more could you ask for? Goddamn. I don't know. Castle Freak. There it is.